Episode 5, Half Caff. They had come down the last Friday in May, the Friday the school year died behind them in Gate City, and rolled into Myrtle Beach on the front edge of the Memorial Day crowds, with summer already thrown open like a window. No more bell, no more bus. No more rows of desks where Gabe Patton had spent the spring sitting at the seam between everybody and nobody. Just long, bright, empty days, and the whole shimmering strip laid out for him to read. He'd been glad to leave the school behind, and gladder still that down here there'd be no new one to walk into, no late-term arrival, no class of kids who'd known each other since the cradle turning to look at the hill boy with the funny way of talking. He'd done that drill enough times to know it cold. Keep your head down, turn your work in clean, answer when called on and not otherwise, give nobody a reason to look twice and become a boy, nobody much looked at. He could have told you the exact number of words spoken to him by anyone his own age in the last 7 weeks of the term, because he'd half kept count, the way he kept count of everything. It was not a large number, but that was behind him now. Down here it was only summer, and the days were his own. His dad left the list on the dresser before light, in pencil, in his blocky hand. Pool skimmer. Number 14 toilet running. Office window screen. Don't burn the day. Gabe worked through it the way he worked through everything, methodical and unhurried, because he knew the truth of it, that the man who owned the motor lodge cut his dad a break on the room in exchange for an extra pair of hands, and that the break was the only reason the two of them could stretch a construction paycheck across a whole season. So Gabe skimmed the pool and jiggled the float in the number 14 tank till it sat right and reseated the screen, and felt doing it, the same quiet thing he'd felt watching his dad come in gray, that they were both holding up a corner of something, and that his corner mattered. By noon the list was done and the day was his. He took the camera and walked. Ocean Boulevard in the first week of summer was a carnival, cranking up to full speed. The souvenir shops with their racks of airbrushed shirts wheeled out onto the sidewalk, the smell of frying dough and coconut oil and hot asphalt, music spilling out of every propped-open door so that you walked through it in bands, disco giving way to beach, giving way to a country station, giving way to disco again. Gabe shot a roll and a half. The vertical slat Dracula sign that came alive when you walked past it. A mini-golf windmill with one blade gone. The pavilion rising across the way, flags snapping, and beyond it the long pier walking out into the gray-green sea on its 100 legs. Everywhere, people. Families slick with lotion, packs of teenagers loud and easy in their own skins, old couples in matching visors. And Gabe moving through all of it the way he'd moved through every crowded hallway he'd ever been dropped into. Present and unseen. A boy with a camera reading the seams of a town that wasn't reading him back. He stopped at a window counter for a Coke, and that was where the man in the marlin shirt found something to say. He was the loud, friendly kind, sunburned across the nose, holding court for his own family at the next stool over. He looked Gabe up and down the way some men did, openly, taking inventory, and he grinned like they were already in on a joke together. "Hey now." He tipped his cup at Gabe. "What you mixed with, son? You got that?" He waved a hand at his own face, vague and pleased with himself. "Half and half look about you, little of this, little of that, like the good Lord ordered you regular and the kitchen sent out a half-calf by mistake." He laughed. Big, and a couple at his table laughed with him, and the man looked back at Gabe expecting him to laugh too, because it was friendly, see? It was all in fun. Gabe smiled. He was good at the smile. He'd been making it his whole life, the small, tight one that cost nothing and gave nothing, the one that let a thing slide off the way his dad said to let it slide. "Just thirsty, sir," he said, and set down his coins and took his Coke and walked. Half and half, half calf, sent out by mistake. He turned it over as he walked, not because it stung so much, He'd heard 100 coats of paint over the same plain fence. What are you? What side you on? Which kind? But because of the particular tired weight of it, the way it followed him out of the hills and across 3 states and all the way down to the edge of the ocean, and was waiting for him here too, in a marlin shirt, with a Coke and a grin. There was no town far enough. He understood that now, walking. The fence came with him. He walked the strip out and walked it back, and the afternoon burned down, and the crowds thinned as folks went in to wash off the sand for supper, and by the time he climbed the outdoor stair to the second-floor walkway, the sky had gone the bruised orange of a low sun, and the first signs were stuttering to life down the strip. He stopped at the door of the room with the key in his hand, and didn't put it in the lock. Through the window he could see the room waiting, the 2 beds, the dark TV, the seashell painting a hair off level. His dad wouldn't be back for hours. He knew exactly how the evening went from here. The quiet of that room thickening around him, the air conditioner, the surf, the sound of his own breathing. One more night of being nobody in particular in a town full of people. Down at the end of the strip, past the shuttered taffy stand and the ice machine, a sign buzzed and caught and held. He'd photographed it 3 times already, and still it stopped him. The riot of rainbow bulbs, the painted tiger leaping out of its gilded wagon with its stripes lit up in orange neon. Electric Circus. Under the wash of the surf he could just hear it, the chatter of the place, beeps and bells and the snap of flippers and somebody's far-off whoop. The sound of a room with people in it. The sound of light. Gabe looked at the key. He looked at the dark window. He thought about all the long blue evenings folding shut around him, all the rooms he'd sat quiet and small in, all the hallways he'd let his eyes slide down so nobody would catch him wanting anything. He thought about how good he'd gotten at needing nobody's good opinion, and how good was maybe just another word for tired. He put the key back in his pocket. The walk down was short. The light off the sign spilled across the cracked pavement and painted his sneakers red, then gold, then red. He didn't have a name for why his chest had gone tight, why his feet kept carrying him toward the noise when every other evening since they'd arrived, they'd carried him dutifully back to the dark. He only knew he was done for tonight, with being alone in it. Gabe pushed through the smudged glass doors, and the warm, bright noise of the electric circus swallowed him whole.